Sammy, where the clock is saying exactly 11 o'clock. We understand the conditions as the players come out. Our South Africans are there. The two West Indian batsmen are coming out now in Anderson and Paris. And you had checked with Ken Kraft and Claudius, and they said they must start by 11:01.
Yes, Reds, and we are just about getting to 11:01, but it's been a cat and mouse situation.
And the rain is coming once more.
Yes, it's been coming and going, coming and going. But stumps are in place. The South African A, they are out on the outfield, and the West Indies A batters, they are coming.
But according to the laws of the game, the game cannot restart if rain is falling. As far as I know. How about you?
I think that's correct, Reds. But I think, to be fair to the umpires, they desperately want to get at least the minimum 20 overs. We have had 12.4, so it means there's an additional 7.2 that we need to get, and I think the umpires are keen to get those.
It's a pity we don't have the ICC ruling on the need to protect players in limb and life. Because it must be pretty slippery out there. Well, we can just update you. West Indies are 85 for 3, with Anderson on 27 and Paris on 3. And the completion of, to make this match become a game, we need 20 overs to be bowled. So it's the very tall Pongbana coming in from the top end, and that's turned away by Anderson for a single. So the total goes to 86 for 3. It's really been touch and go for the ground staff. They have done a lot of work. They have pulled the covers off. They've pulled the main covers back on the square, and the umpires have been extremely proactive, but the rain is coming once more. Can this really continue to constitute a match? 12.5 overs bowling now, and that's flicked away. This could go down to backward square. One more in the total. More important, one more ball has been bowled. So we've had 13 overs. 7 overs are left to constitute a match. And two batsmen are conferring. We just want to see how long, Claudius, will the umpires continue to rule play?
Well, I think the objective, Reds, is to get the 20, which constitutes a game. As you said, 13 completed, so we are 7 away. But I think the challenge would be the drizzle. That is with us. It's light, but it is with us. But I think.
Did you say light, Claudius?
Yes, it's because it's been heavier than this, Reds. Maybe getting a little heavier.
So we can have the left arm spinner to move in, and that's almost a wide outside the off stump, with Anderson in strike. Well, this is the first time I've seen play continuing where there is rain falling. One delivery outside the off-stump bowl. In fact, they're calling it off. Bails have been touched down, and they obviously have decided that they cannot continue to play with the amount of rain falling. So, Claudius, can we assume that it's a no result?
Well, I'm not sure, Reds. They have gone off because it's raining now. They're not sure if that is the end of the game. I'm not sure. The players are going off. The covers are coming on.
Well, there's been no pay announcement, but we are just operating with our basic knowledge of the rules, which says 20 overs must be bowled. So the stumps are being pulled away, the covers are coming back on. So it's all wait here, rain still falling, The South Africans are walking off. So we had what? We had 2 balls to complete the remaining over and 1 ball from this end. So we've had 13 overs completed. And just in case you're wondering, in case you just joined us for whatever reason, South Africa got 365, of which Croatia got 126. Smith got 64, and Pongwana was knotted on 57. Blaze 3 for 62. Thomas 1 for 56 off 6. Tyson 6 overs, done for 61. Pierre, the best figures, 10 overs, no middles, done for 46. Gooley 7 overs, no middles, done for 50. And Aline 7 overs, no middles, 2 for 53. The West Indies have lost, of course. Aline for 14, Atenas for 8. And we had Wickham going for 29. 3 to Paris. Anderson and Paris were at the wicket when the rains came. And we are just waiting to interpret what is about to happen. Well, it appears that the ground staff is simply waiting to see whether the rain will stop. The umpires have gone off, and it's a bit of a limbo.
Well, we seem to see some movement in the players' area, Reds.
Yeah.
It appears that the 2 teams are going to
Shake hands.
exchange pleasantries. So that looks like the end of the game.
So the game rained off without a result, and the teams will come back on Tuesday. The teams will come back on Tuesday to play the decider, with South Africa leading 1-0. Now, we have to be realistic. There's another final tomorrow, which is the SPL. That's scheduled to start at, what, 3 o'clock?
Yes, 3 p.m. At the Grosley Mini Stadium. So fingers crossed that that can actually come off. As we speak, Reds, the rain is actually subsiding. But I think the issue for the umpires was that they had to start the game before 11:01, which was the information that we got from Ken Crafton, the curator. They were able to just achieve that, but with rain still around, I think it's a case of not being able to get the full 20 overs, because it's been a very frustrating situation for the umpires. They tried their best, but the rain not really.
And the 3 balls we had actually was played with the rain falling.
Yes, very much so.
So again, we repeat for our viewers in the Caribbean, viewers throughout the world, and of course with respect to viewers in South Africa, it's a completed match. South Africa still leading the series 1-0. They come back on Tuesday. So the West Indies, they were 87 for 3, 28 to Anderson, 4 to Paris, and they had to complete 20 overs. Maybe we need to just repeat that again.
Yes, so 20 overs, a minimum of 20 constitutes a game in a 50-over situation. So we were not able to achieve that. The rain falling when we were at 12.4, so the umpires were desperate to get us to 20, but the rain just not allowing it. And of course, there is a cut-off time at which you need to close off the game, and so the amount of time required just not
you
allowing
have that magical app. It's suggesting that there'll be more rain tomorrow. You could just check the up-to-date position.
Yes, there is rain scheduled for tomorrow morning through to early afternoon. So that SPL game that we've been talking about could be affected.
Well, I think there's just no more that we can add, and just hope that we can have the final game played fully on Tuesday. And just to remind you that the West Indies are playing Ireland in the morning at 5:45. If you're up that early in the Caribbean. It's a bit more later in South Africa. So just about time for us to say good night from the Darren Sammy Club.
Good night, certainly, Reds. It's been a pleasure bringing the game. Of course, unfortunately, we have had a no result. But on behalf of Dwight Thomas, Reds Pereira, our technical team, that's where we say good night from the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, and asking you to join us on Tuesday for match 3 of the 50-50 series. It's good night from the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground.